The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on TOMz Radio Toronto are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of TOMz Radio Toronto or its staff. These broadcasts are presented and made public as entertainment and general information only, in the hope that they will be entertaining and informative to listeners. They are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or mitigate in any way any disease or condition or to promote any specific lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice, nor is the information presented necessarily accurate or verifiable.
TOMz Radio Toronto is back, and this is your friend Mon Datol, and this is Balitang Bayan News at 4. Top of the news at this hour from Ottawa. Fed secure 8 million more Pfizer doses as Moderna cuts coming shipments. The federal government of Canada secured an additional 8 million doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine coming over the next few months. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced today, just as Moderna revealed coming shipments will be smaller than promised. These coming Pfizer shots will be on top of the existing doses Canada has already purchased, and will see 4 million additional doses arrive in May, 2 million additional shots in June, as well as moving up to 400,000 doses from the third quarter into that month, followed by an additional 2 million more doses being added to the July deliveries. Prior to this update, Canada was scheduled to receive more than 1 million doses a week through the end of May, and starting in June, Pfizer had committed to sending closer to 2 million doses. With the new contract, Canada is now on track to have a total of 24 million doses. After shortages in the winter due to an expansion of Pfizer's European manufacturing facility, Canada has consistently been receiving the promised shipments from the pharmaceutical giant, something Trudeau thanked them today. More doses arriving sooner means more people getting their vaccines faster, Trudeau said this afternoon. This increase, though, or rather the increase, though, follows on the heels of Procurement Minister Anita Anand confirming that late on Thursday that Moderna informed Canada that the next expected vaccine shipment is scheduled for the end of April will be 650,000 doses instead of the more than 1.2 million expected. Further, Moderna is now saying that up to 2 million of the 12.3 million doses promised to come to Canada this quarter may be delayed until the third quarter due to a slower than anticipated ramp-up of the production capacity that is affecting a number of countries. On the same note, Alberta says no to Ontario request for health care workers. Deadline Calgary, April 16. Alberta will not be sending medical professionals to Ontario to help with its beleaguered healthcare system, Premier Jason Kenney's office said this morning. A letter from Ontario Premier Doug Ford's government today asked for help with healthcare resources as that province grapples with a third wave of COVID-19, which has inundated intensive care units and is overwhelming doctors and nurses. Alberta has always been willing to help its fellow Canadians in Confederation, especially in time of crisis. Read a statement from Kenney's office. When the pandemic began, Alberta found itself in a surplus of PPE and shipped over 35 million units of gloves, masks, goggles, and ventilators to our friends in BC, Ontario, and Quebec. However, with the COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations on a sharp rise here in Alberta, we are simply not in a position to send our healthcare workers outside the province at this time. Our priority, Kenny said, must be and will be the health and safety of Albertans. And that means making sure our hospital are adequately staffed to treat COVID-19 patients. Our hearts go out to the people of Ontario as they fight this third wave, and we will continue to have discussions with the Ontario government on how Alberta might support this countrymen from going forward. The Ontario letter says ICUs are becoming increasingly strained, leading to an estimated gap in staffing of around 4,145 nurses over the next 4 months. Ontario has been racing to create more ICU space after modeling projections from the University of Toronto forecast roughly 1,000 patients would require critical care by the end of April. As of yesterday, there were 653 patients in critical care, including 9 adult patients in pediatric ICUs, according to the Ontario Hospital Association. The request for healthcare workers includes 1. 500 nurses, ICU, clinical care, recovery room, general, 100 respiratory therapists, 10 perfusionists, 10 anesthesia assistants. Alberta is also in the midst of a third wave of COVID-19, with the number of cases rising sharply in recent days. On Thursday, Alberta's Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Dina Hinshaw, announced 1,646 new COVID-19 cases, the highest single-day count since mid-December. The province has 16,223 cases and 416 people with COVID-19 in hospital, including 86 in ICU. As of Tuesday, Alberta had administered more than 1 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine. All right, going to England. Well, this is a good article that could be used by pregnant women. Yeah, let's hear it. Pregnant women in the United Kingdom told to have Pfizer or Moderna vaccine. Wow. Deadline London, pregnant women in Britain should get a COVID-19 vaccine made by Pfizer or Moderna because there is more real-world data to show they are safe, the British public body that advises on vaccination said today. The Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunization said around 90,000 pregnant women had been vaccinated in the United States, mainly with the 2 American vaccine, without any safety concerns being raised. Based on this data, the JCVI advises that it is preferable for pregnant women in the UK to be offered the Pfizer, BioNTech, or Moderna vaccine where available. There is no evidence to suggest that other vaccines are unsafe to pregnant women, but more research is needed. Pregnant women had previously been advised against taking the vaccine in Britain because not enough information was known about the impact. I encourage all pregnant women, when they are called to get the jab, to come forward and discuss the benefits and risks of the vaccine with a trusted source like their family doctor, obstetricians, or midwife, Health Secretary Matt Hancock said. Britain recently advised that all other 30s should be given alternative vaccine to the Oxford AstraZeneca shot, if possible, because of a vanishingly rare side effect on blood clots in the brain. Meantime, news from Hong Kong. Well, a Hong Kong tycoon Jimmy Lai among democracy leaders sentenced to jail. A Hong Kong court today sentenced 5 bleating pro-democracy advocates, including media tycoon Jimmy Lai, to up to 18 months in prison for organizing and participating in a massive march during 2019 anti-government protests that triggered an overwhelming crackdown from Beijing. A total of 9 advocates were given jail terms, but 4 of them, including 82-year-old lawyer and a former lawmaker Martin Lee, had their sentences suspended after their age and accomplishments were taken into consideration. They were found guilty earlier this month of organizing and participating in a massive protest in August 2019, where an estimated 1.7 million people marched in opposition to a bill that would have allowed suspects to be extradited to mainland China. The march was not authorized by the police. Their convictions and sentencing are another blow to the city's flagging democracy movement, which is facing an unprecedented crackdown by Beijing and Hong Kong authorities. The sentences were simply met with international criticism. The court suspended the 11-month prison sentence of Lee, who is known for his advocacy for human rights and democracy, for 2 years because of his age. Lai, the founder of Hong Kong Apple Daily Tabloid, was sentenced to a total of 14 months in prison today for charges related to demonstration on August 18, 2019, and a separate unauthorized march on August 31, 2019. Lai was also slapped with 2 additional charges this afternoon, one under the national security law, accusing him of conspiring to collude with foreign powers, and another accusing him of helping local activists to escape the city. Well, Lee Chuk-yan, a pro-democracy activist and a former lawmaker who helped organize annual candlelight vigils in Hong Kong on the anniversary of the bloody crackdown on pro-democracy protests in Beijing's Tiananmen Square in 1989, was sentenced to a total of 14 months in prison for his participation in the 2 August 2019 marches. Lawyers Albert Ho and Margaret Eng both had their 12-month jail sentences suspended for 2 years. Former lawmaker Leung Kwok Hong was sentenced to 18 months, while another former legislator, Said Ho, was given a jail sentence of 8 months. Well, the 2 other former lawmakers, Oh Nok-hin and Liu Yu-chung, who previously pleaded guilty, were also given jail sentences. In a separate case, former lawyer Yong Sum was sentenced alongside Lai and Lee Chuk-yan for their participation in the unauthorized assembly on August 31, 2019, although his 8-month sentence was suspended for a year. Well, too tough in Hong Kong right now. In Moscow, Russia to expel 10 U.S. diplomats in response to Washington. Russia on Friday responded to a barrage of new U.S. sanctions by saying it would expel 10 U.S. diplomats and take other retaliatory moves in a tense showdown with Washington. Former Minister Sergey Lavrov also said Moscow will add 8 U.S. officials to its sanction list and move to shut down those U.S. non-government organizations that remain in Russia to end what he described as their meddling in Russia's politics. The top Russian diplomat said that Kremlin suggested that U.S. Ambassador John Sullivan follow the example of his Russian counterpart and head home for consultations. Russia will also move to deny the U.S. Embassy the possibility to hire personnel from Russia and third country as support staff, limit visits by U.S. diplomats serving short-term stints at the embassy, and tighten requirements for U.S. diplomats' travel in the country. On Thursday, the Biden administration announced sanctions on Russia for interfering in the 2020 U.S. presidential election and involvement in the SolarWind hack of federal agencies. Activities Moscow has denied. The U.S. ordered 10 Russian diplomats expelled, targeted dozens of companies and people, and imposed new curbs of Russian ability to borrow money. While the U.S. wields the power to cripple the Russian economy, Moscow lacks levers to respond in kind, although it potentially could hurt American interest in many other ways around the globe. Lavrov noted that while Russia could take painful measures against American business interests in Russia, it wouldn't immediately move to do that and save them for future use. He warned that if Washington moves to further crack up the pressure, Russia might ask the U.S. to reduce the number of its embassy and consular staff from about 450 to 300. He said Russia and the U.S. each have about 450 diplomats, but for Russia, the number includes some 150 UN personnel that he argued shouldn't be part of the equation. Russia's economic potential and its global reach are limited compared with the Russian, or rather with the Soviet Union, that competed with the U.S. for international influence during the Cold War. Still, Russia's nuclear arsenal and its leverage in many parts of the world would make it a power what Washington needs to reckon with. Aware of that, President Joe Biden called for de-escalating tensions and held the door open for cooperation with Russia in certain areas. Biden said he told Putin in last Tuesday's call that he chose not to impose tougher sanctions for now and proposed to meet in a third country in the summer. Well, the United Kingdom military prepares for big role in Prince Philip funeral. But before we go on with that news, let's take a break for some words from our friends.
Why would you want Genesis Immigration to help you in your application? Our company, Genesis Immigration Consulting, is committed to providing truthful, honest, competent, and result-oriented service through advising and representing our client in Canada and overseas in a wide range of immigration matters, which focuses on providing support, building dependable relationships, and promoting success. We are dedicated to understanding what results you want and to helping you understand what actions we can take on your behalf. We will work with you every step of the way to make sure that you understand the choices you are making and feel empowered to make them. But why would you want Genesis Immigration to help you in your application? We work with passion. Highly recommended by clients. Yes. Professional. ICCRC registered. Caring. Knowledgeable. Approachable. High value on integrity. Experienced. Affordable. Reliable. Trustworthy. For more information, please visit us at www.genesisimmigrationconsulting.com. Thank you for watching. If you like this video and you want to see more, or have an idea you would like to see on our next video, click like and subscribe, and leave a comment.
We're back. News at 4 with your friend Mon Tel. UK military prepares for big role in Prince Philip's funeral. Windsor, England, British soldiers, sailors, and Air Force personnel were practicing, policing, and making final preparation today for Prince Philip's funeral tomorrow. A martial but personal service that will mark the death of a royal patriarch. More than 700 military personnel are set to take part in Saturday's funeral ceremony at Windsor Castle, including army bands, Royal Marine buglers, and an honor guard drawn from across the armed forces. But coronavirus restrictions mean that instead of the 800 mourners included in the long-standing funeral plans, there will only be 30 inside St. George's Chapel for the service, including the widowed Queen Elizabeth II and her 4 children. Philip, who died April 9 at age 99, was closely involved in planning his funeral, an event which will reflect his Royal Navy service and lifelong military ties, and his love, of course, of the rugged Land Rover. Philip drove several versions of the four-wheel drive vehicle for decades until he was forced to give up his license at the age of 97 after a crash. His body will be borne to the chapel on modified Land Rover Defender that he designed himself, painted military green and with an open back to carry a coffin. The children of Philip and the Queen, Prince Charles, Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, and Prince Edward, will walk behind the hearse. So will grandsons Prince William and Prince Harry, although not side by side. The brothers, whose relationship has been strained amid Harry's decision to quit royal duties and move to California, will flank their cousin Peter Phillips, the son of Princess Anne. The moment is likely to stir memories of the image of William and Harry at 15 and 12, walking behind their mother, Princess Diana's coffin in 1997, accompanied by their grandfather, Philip. Armed forces will play hymns and classical music before the funeral service, which will be preceded by a nationwide minute of silence. Wow. In the Philippines, 8 beneficiaries included dead persons, minors, OFWs. Another controversy, eh? When it comes to money. From Manila, an administration congressman yesterday criticized the implementation of the latest cash aid or ayuda for low-income families in Metro Manila and surrounding provinces that were affected by the recent lockdown. Representative Jericho Nograles o Puwersa ng Bayaning Atleta Party List revealed that several dead individuals, minors and overseas Filipino workers, were among the beneficiaries listed in the government cash dole out of 1,000 pesos per individual or 4,000 pesos per family. Well, my office received inquiries and reports on questionable beneficiaries. That comes as no surprise, but clearly, the DSWD, or the Department of Social Welfare and Development, and the Commission on Audit should look into this. Nograles cited Barangay 44 in Pasay City, where persons who have been dead since August last year, or minors who are not qualified as beneficiaries, and a former house helper now living in Mindanao were among those listed as cash aid recipients. Wow! In Cainta, Rizal, a person who lives and works in Qatar was also listed as a recipient. Nograles said these cases could just be some of the thousands more of unqualified people on the DSWD's amelioration list. Because of these irregularities, he urged the DSWD and the Department of Interior and local government to investigate, stressing that every penny in the 22.9 billion pesos amelioration fund must be accounted for, and the people who abuse it must be punished. He warned the government officials found to be deliberately falsifying the list would face trouble with the office of the Ombudsman. Wow! Whew, as usual. Sports news. Raptors host Magic as playoff chase continues. The Toronto Raptors continue to chase a spot in the NBA's play-in tournament as they host the Orlando Magic tonight. Catch the actions live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time or 4 p.m. Pacific Time on TSN 1, TSN 4, TSN 5, and TSN Direct. The Raptors are currently one game behind the Chicago Bulls for 10th place in the Eastern Conference. If the Raptors are going to gain ground on the Bucks or the Bulls, who host the Memphis Grizzlies on Friday, they'll have to do it without three of their starters on the court. Well, the team announced yesterday that point guard Kyle Lowry and forwards Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby would all rest against the Magic. Gary Trent Jr., ankle, the Andre Bembry hamstring, and Jalen Harris hip are listed doubtful ahead of today's game. The Raptors' attack could be boosted by the return of Fred Van Fleet to the lineup. After missing 6 games with a left hip flexor injury, Van Fleet served a 1-game suspension he picked up for leaving the Raptors bench during an on-court altercation with the Los Angeles Lakers on April 4. The 27-year-old served his ban in the Raptors' 117-112 win over the San Antonio Spurs last Wednesday. Yes. Following the Magic, the Raptors will host the Oklahoma City Thunder on Sunday as they continue a 5-game home stand. Ayan. Well, another sports news. Florida House moves to limit transgender students in sports. Uy, pang LGBTQ to, pang rainbow connection na issue ito. Tallahassee, Florida. Florida lawmakers move closer to requiring transgender athletes to undergo testosterone or generic testing, as well as submitting to having their genitalia examined to participate on sports teams in public schools and colleges. The proposal in Florida, approved overwhelmingly Wednesday by the state's Republican-led House, is part of a continuing national debate over transgender rights, including access to restroom, locker rooms, and other facilities. A companion bill in the Florida State Senate awaits another committee hearing. The latest battleground is in the arena of school athletics. Well, allowing biological males to compete in women's sports diminishes the protections and opportunities guaranteed by Title IX, or the 1972 federal doctrine that barred discrimination against women in school programs, including sports, said Republican Representative Gina Parson-Molecta. The Florida proposal mirrors an Idaho law, the first of its kind when enacted last year, that is now mired in legal challenges. If signed into law, the Florida measure would ban transgender women from playing on teams designated for biological females. Well, but critics contend that the proposal is unnecessary and would harm transgender children already struggling with their gender identity. Wow, it's a good issue, huh? Ian Santillan of Rainbow Connection tried to talk on this. Over at the UFC, the fight is off. McGregor calls off UFC 264 fight with Poirier. Bengaluru, Ireland's Conor McGregor has told Dustin Poirier their third fight is scheduled for July 10 is off after the pair quarreled on Twitter over US $500,000 donation to the Americans charity. Former two-weight UFC champion McGregor said earlier this month that a third fight was booked with Poirier, who became the first man to knock him out in January. McGregor knocked Poirier out in a featherweight contest, meanwhile, in 2014. But McGregor was not happy when Poirier said the Irishman has not made good on a promise to donate to his charity. A donation, not a debt. We've been awaiting the plans for the money that never came, McGregor said in a reply. When money talks, everybody argue. 500K with no plan in place? He added, the fight is off. I'm going to fight someone else on the 10th, McGregor said. Poirier replied by saying McGregor's team never responded to emails explaining where the funds would go. Of course, McGregor's camp is trying to lure Manny Pacquiao to a fight. But of course, Manny Pacquiao did not bite the challenge. Well, our last sports news, head of Toronto Olympic again says games will not be cancelled. In Tokyo, the head of the Tokyo Olympics today was again forced to assure the world that the postponed games will open in just over 3 months and not be cancelled despite the surging COVID-19 cases in Japan. Organizing Committee President Seiko Hashimoto was asked at a news conference if there were any conditions under which the Olympics would be cancelled. The question comes as the General Secretary of the ruling LDP political party, Toshihiro Nikai, raised the possibility the day before. There are a variety of concerns, but as the Tokyo 2020 Organizing Committee, we are not thinking about cancelling the games, Hashimoto said. Nikai, the number 2 person in the LDP party, was asked on Thursday in an interview if cancellation was still an option. Of course, he replied. adding that if the Tokyo Games cause a surge in infections, there would be no meaning to having the Olympics. Nikai tried to backtrack later, and Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga issued a statement yesterday saying there is no change to the government position to do everything to achieve safe and secure Olympics. Of course, COVID-19 cases has been rising across Japan. Despite this, the International Olympic Committee and Tokyo organizer are pressing on. The IOC, which relies on selling broadcast rights for 73% of its income, has seen its cash flow stalled by the postponement. Japan has already invested at least $15 billion to organize the Olympics, and national audit suggests it might be twice that much. All but $6.7 billion is public money. Wow, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. And before we go, live interview today at 6 p.m. with Ward 7 Mississauga Councilor Deepika Damerla by me, Mondatal, and Jossey Isla. And tomorrow, Miss Ariel Perez, a young Filipina-Canadian recording artist, songwriter, model, pianist, dancer, and actress from Ontario, Canada, will be TOMz radio special guest Saturday at 5 p.m. Also, she'll be singing live. Thank you very much. This is Balitang Bayan News at more, and Mondatol is bidding you good day.
So why would you want Genesis Immigration to help you in your application? Our company, Genesis Immigration Consulting, is committed to providing truthful, honest, competent, and result-oriented service through advising and representing our client in Canada and overseas in a wide range of immigration matters, which focuses on providing support, building dependable relationships, and promoting success. We are dedicated to understanding what results you want and to helping you understand what actions we can take on your behalf. We will work with you every step of the way to make sure that you understand the choices you are making and feel empowered to make them. But why would you want Genesis Immigration to help you in your application? We work with passion. Highly recommended by clients. Yes. Professional. ICCRC registered. Caring. Knowledgeable. Approachable. High value on integrity. Experienced. Affordable. Reliable. Trustworthy. For more information, please visit us at www.genesisimmigrationconsulting.com. Thank you for watching. If you like this video and you want to see more, or have an idea you would like to see on our next video, click like and subscribe, and leave a comment.
light my heart. I hope that you can feel it to this music from my heart. For love is not a thing we can explain through words. One can only understand what's love through the feelings of the heart. Forever feel my love, oh Julia. There are many times in our life when we need somebody. There are many times I lost my troubles 'cause of you. Sweetest song I only sing for you, oh Julia. There are many times in our life when we need somebody. There are many times I lost my troubles 'cause of you. Till you came to my world, oh Julia. Was meaningless. Till you came to my world, oh Julia. Was meaningless. Till you came to my world, oh Julia.
Falling out, falling in, nothing sure in this world. No, no, breaking down, breaking in, never knowing what lies ahead. We can really never tell it all. No, no, no. Say goodbye, say hello to a lover or friend. Sometimes we never could understand what some things begin then, just then. We can really never have it all. No, no, no. But oh, can't you see that no matter what happens, life goes on, and so baby, just fine. 'Cause I'm always around you, and I make you see how beautiful life is for you and me. Take a little time, baby, see the butterflies calling, listen to the birds that were sent to sing for me and you. Can you feel me? This is such a wonderful place to be. Even if there is pain now, everything will be alright. For as long as the world still turns, there will be night and day. Can you hear me? There's a rainbow always after the rain. Getting high, you know, when to lose you should go. Yeah, yeah. Getting warm, getting cold, weather could be so good or bad. But baby, this is life, no, don't get mad. No, no, no. 'Cause oh, can't you see? Can't you see? That no matter what happens, life goes on and on. So baby, please smile, just smile. 'Cause I'm always around you, and I'll make you see how beautiful life is for you and me. Take a little time, baby, see the butterflies calling, Listen to the birds that were sent to sing for me and you. Can you feel me? This is such a wonderful place to be. Even if there is pain now, everything will be alright. For as long as the world still turns, there will be night and day. Can you hear me? There's a rainbow always after the rain. Life's full of challenges that all the time we get what we want. But don't despair, my dear. No, no. You'll take it higher and you'll make it through the storm, 'cause you're strong. My faith in you is clear. So I say once again, this one's wonderful. And let us celebrate life that's so beautiful. So beautiful. Listen to the birds that were sent to sing for me and you. Can you feel me? This is such a wonderful place to be. Even if there is pain now, everything will be alright. For as long as the world still turns, there will be night and day. Can you hear me? There's a rainbow always after the rain.
I've been awake for a while now. You've got me feeling like a child now. 'Cause every time I see your bubbly face, I get the tingles in a silly place, tossing my toes and a crinkle in my nose. Wherever it goes, I always know that you make me smile. Please stay for a while now. Just take your time wherever you go. The rain is falling on my window pane, but we are hiding in a safer place. Undercover, staying right and wrong. You give me feelings that I adore. Stars in my toes make me crinkle my nose. Wherever it goes, I always know you make me smile. Please stay for a while now. Just take your time wherever you go. But what am I gonna say? Yeah. When you make me feel this way, I just stars in my toes make me crinkle my nose. Wherever it goes, I always know that you make me smile. Please stay for a while now. Just take your time wherever you go. Do-do. I've been asleep for a while now. You tuck me in just like a child now. 'Cause every time you hold me in your arms, I'm comfortable enough to feel your warmth. It starts in my soul and I lose all control. When you kiss my nose, the feeling shows. 'Cause you make me smile, baby, just take your time now, holding me tight. Wherever, wherever, wherever you go. Wherever, wherever, wherever you go. Wherever you go, I'll always know. 'Cause you make me me smile here just for a while.
city to city, or star to star. Thoughts of you engraved in my mind got me traveling through space and time. Light years couldn't keep us apart. Two ancient lovers magnetized by the heart of heart.
Can't stop thinking about you. There's just something about you. Don't know what I'd do without you when you're not here beside me, boy. You can reach me by railway. You can reach me by trailway. You can reach me on an airplane. You can reach me with your mind.
Bye, baby.
Thinking about you, 'cause there's just something about you. Don't know what I'd do without you when you're not here beside me, boy. Get here, get here, get here, get here, if you can. Oh, I don't care how you get here, just get here if you can.
How can I just let you walk away? Just let you live without a trace. When I stand here taking every breath with you, you're the only one who really knew me at all.
How can you just walk away from me when all I can do is watch you leave? 'Cause we've shared the laughter and the pain, and even shared the tears. You're the only one who really knew me at all. So take a look at me now, 'cause there's just an empty space. There's nothing left here to remind me, just the memory of your face.
Take a look at me now. Well, there's just an empty space, and you're coming back to me is against all odds, and that's what I've gotta face. I wish I could just make you turn around and see me cry. There's so much I need to say to you, so many reasons why.
You're the only one who really knew me at all. So take a look at me now.
Take a look at me now.
There's just an empty space.
Empty space.
There's nothing left here to remind me, just the memory of your face. Take a look at me now.
Take a look at me now.
There's just empty space.
Just an empty space.
But to wait for you is all I can do, and that's what I've gotta face.
Take a good look at me now, 'cause I'll still be standing here, and you
Coming back to me is against all odds. It's the chance I've gotta take. Take a look at me now.
take a look at me now.
Take a look at me now.
Take a look at me
I remember so well the day that you came into my life. You asked for my name. You had the most beautiful smile. My life started to change. I'd wake up each day feeling alright with you
makes me feel things will work out just fine. How did you know I needed someone like you in my life? That there's an empty space in my heart. You came at the right time in my life. I'll never forget how you brought the sun to shine in my life and took all the worries and fears that I had. I guess what I'm really trying to say, it's not every day that someone like you comes my way. No words can express how much I love you. How did you know I needed someone like you in my life? That there's an empty space in my heart. You came at the right time in my life. I'll never forget how you brought the sun to shine in my life and took all the worries and fears that I had. I guess what I'm really trying to say, it's not every day that someone like you comes my way. No words can express how much I love you. I love you.
Ako'y isang sirena. Kahit anong sabihin nila, ako ay ubod ng ganda. Ako'y isang sirena. Kahit anong gawin nila, bandera ko'y di tutumba. Ram na may tubig ang sinisisid, naglalaki ang mga braso, sa'ki tumitiktik. Ram na may tubig ang sinisisid, sa patagalan ng paghinga, sa'kin kayo ay bibili.
Simula pa ng bata pa ako, halata mo na kapag naglalaro. Kaya parang lahat ay nalilito, magaling sa Chinese karterapti ko. Mga labi ko'y pulang-pula, sa pabuldam na sinapa. Palakad-lakad sa harapan ng salamin, sinasabi sa sarili anong panama nila. Habang kumikembot ang bewang, mga hikaw na gumigewang, gamit ang pulbos na pinili kay Aling Bebang, upang matakpan ang mga pasa sa mukha na galing sa aking ama. Tila di natutuwa sa tuwing ako'y nasisilayan, laging nalalatayan sa paglipas ng panahon. Ay di ko na mamalayan na imbis na tumigas ay tila lalong lumambot ang puso ko. Mapagmahal parang bilipat ang ulot.
Ako'y isang sirena. Kahit anong sabihin nila, ako ay ubod ng ganda. Ako'y isang sirena. Kahit anong gawin nila, bandera ko'y di tutumba. Ram na may tubig ang sinisisid, naglalaki ang mga braso, sa'ki tumitiktik. Ram na may tubig ang sinisisid, sa patagalan ng paghinga, sa'kin kayo ay bibili.
Hanggang sa naging binata na ako, teka muna mali, dalaga na pala to. Pero bakit parang lahat ay nalilito pa rin? Ano bang mga problema nyo? Dahil ba ang mga kilos ko'y iba sa dapat makita ng inyong mata? Sa tuwing nanonood ng liga, laging natutulala. Kahit di pumasok ang bola, ako'y tuwang-tuwa. Kahit tinalo na sa tapang, kasi ganun na lamang. Akong paluin ang tubo kahit inakalawang. Tama na naman, itay di na po ako pasaway. Di ko na po isusunod lumang saya ni inay. Kapag ako'y naiiyak ay sumusugod sa ambon, iniisip ko na lamang na baka ako'y ampon. Kasi araw-araw na lamang ay walang humpay ng banat at inaabot ng ganda kung pang ilalim ng dagat.
Ako'y isang sirena, kahit anong sabihin nila, ako ay ubod ng
Balitang Bayan ba rin? Okay. Tatawag daw si Jossey mamaya. Well, good afternoon to our viewers, listeners, and supporters of TOMz Radio Toronto. Well, your friend Ramon Datol here, and we're going to interview one of the noted politicians from Mississauga. Actually, she is the current councillor of Ward 7 in Mississauga. Please welcome our... Huh? Okay. Akala ko ba rendezvous? Patay pa yung camera niya.
Just keep talking.
All right. Well, of course, we are still waiting for our special guest for today. She will be discussing the updates of how Mississauga, particularly the Ward 7 in that city, it is the neighborhood of Cooksville, and I think they has to say something about what they have discussed in the city council this afternoon about the new restrictions, probably, or the ongoing restrictions being imposed by the provincial government of Ontario. And I'm talking about our special guest, Miss Deepika Damerla. I don't know if I pronounce her name properly or correctly. Deepika Damerla. Right. She's a politician, a long-time politician. And she will be discussing also some events or affairs in Mississauga. All right? And meantime, let me thank first our televiewers who are religiously supporting us, particularly in Ontario and Toronto. Well, tomorrow we'll start the show, TOMz Radio programming at 12 o'clock with the Tall Order, and to be followed by Tinig ng Bayan of the Taste of Manila founding president, Rolly Mangante with Rhea. And then it will be followed by tomorrow. There are a lot of programs tomorrow. Again, tomorrow we will be having a special showbiz potpourri guest, Irene. I think it's Eileen. She's a composer, a Canadian actress, a dancer, a pianist, who will be singing live tomorrow. Oh, first time that we are going to have a visitor, Miss Ariel Perez, a young Filipino-Canadian recording artist, songwriter, model, pianist, dancer, and actress from this province. She will be our TOMz Radio special guest Saturday at 5 p.m. Right. Hintayin po natin yan at sa ating mga kababayan. That all order tomorrow. Marami po tayong malalaking issue na tatalakayin. Yes, at saka isang aking special issue doon. Dapat magbura ang mga vlogger to gain hundreds of thousands of listeners. Yan po ang pag-uusapan natin. Mananalo ba pag tumakbong senador? Si Willie Revillame, si Coco Martin, si Angel Locsin, yan po ang mga artistang nagbabalak tumakbong senador sa gagawin pong eleksyon sa 2022. Titinan po natin kung anong kanilang magiging kapalaran pagpasok sa politika. Mga sikat po yan, kumikita na ng malaki. They want to try Philippine politics. Well, of course, we are just waiting for the special guest today's live interview from Mississauga, the city of Mississauga, and I'm talking about the current Councilor of Ward 7, and we are just, there's still some technical problems about it. All right, Mr. DJ, are we ready now? Can we start the...
I'm waiting for a camera to turn on, but just mention our name.
All right. All right, as is currently sitting as Councilor of Ward 7 in Mississauga, Ms. Deepika Damerla. And yes, we could see now, the camera is on now. And we have to ask a lot of questions, and we have some calls coming from some parts of Mississauga, and told me that they will ask question to their councilor there in Ward 7. And probably we will know the latest update of Mississauga City's fight against COVID-19. And probably they have a meeting that supports probably the new protocols that the province is introducing right now. Well, our special guest has been into politics since 2014, I believe. And from city politicians, she was a former member of the parliament, provincial parliament. Okay? She was a Liberal member of the Legislative Assembly of Ontario, representing the riding of Mississauga East. Mississauga East, Cooksville from 2011 to 2018. She also served as Minister of Senior Affairs in the cabinet of former Premier Catherine Wynne. All right. Can you hear me now, Miss Councilor Deepika? Yes, that's Councilor Deepika Damerla. All right, and I know our producer, Cecilia Araneta, is watching right now instantly in her home in Mississauga. Well, and going back to some issues that we were discussing a while ago, well, Canada secured an 8 million doses of Pfizer, and our Prime Minister just introduced us that our country is also expecting more coronavirus vaccine in the forthcoming weeks and months until all 39, I think it's 39 million Canadians who do have been received their second dose of vaccine. Well, again tomorrow, we will be starting at TOMz Radio Toronto. It's starting at 12 p.m. until 6 p.m. And next week, starting Wednesday, new shows or programs coming your way via TOMz Radio Toronto. All right. And again, I am finishing touches on our Talk to Us, involving the community of different ethnicity. You could call us here at 416-900-5864 to express your desire, feelings, actions, or actions to be done, or probably your gripes over what's going on with the present situation of COVID-19. Well, that will be a very interesting program. Talk to us, T-O-K, to us, U-S. Talk to us. And another show is forthcoming, Kids Talk. We will be having some kids of different ethnicity to have their show here, a 1-hour show. And of course, I'm finishing touches on the first singing contest over the radio, Talentadong Seniors. Talented seniors, open to all 60 years old singers, senior citizens, 60 years old and up. As long as you know how to sing Tagalog, English, or whatever language you prefer, you could join us. All right? A lot of programs coming in for Toronto or rather TOMz Radio Toronto. Watch out for these forthcoming shows. All right, and of course, we have tomorrow also after the tall order, Tinig ng Bayan with Rolly Mangante and Rhea Nicolas. Nicolas ba apelido ni Rhea? And Cecil Araneta with Mitch Fernandez. Yan po ang Immigration Hotline with Ian Santillan completing the day on Sunday. Rainbow Connection. Rainbow Connection. Well, again, we're still waiting for our special guest for today. Talking about not only politics, but how the city of Mississauga is facing COVID-19. I'm talking about the current Ward 7 Councilor, Ms. Depica Damerla. All right.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, Ms. Councilor Depica Damerla. Am I correct, Depica?
Yes. I can see my video if you want to do it on video, or I can do it by phone. Either way.
Either, whatever you wish. It's okay. It's okay with us.
Okay.
You could turn on the camera so that people could see you while we are
Yeah,
discussing.
my camera is on. It's got a little red dot. Does that mean I'm on?
DJ, she says the camera is on, but we could not see her. Anyway, we could continue with our interview through phone. Just, I will just talk to you via phone. Anyway, if something gets corrected with the camera, you will be seen there.
Okay.
All right. Good afternoon, and your name is Miss Depica Damerla. You are the current councilor of Ward 7 here in Mississauga?
Yes, that's right. Yes, Tom.
How long have you been into politics? I was looking at your data here.
I was first elected as a member of provincial parliament for Mississauga East Cooksville in 2011. So 2021 now, 10 years, And as a councillor, I've been a councillor now for about almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years, right?
Yeah.
2018, after you last
So I
served.
got elected October 2018. So this October, it'll be 3 years.
Oh, that's a long time being into politics, right?
Yeah, decades.
Yeah. You were previously the Minister of Senior Affairs in the cabinet of
That's
Premier
right,
Catherine Wynne.
Yeah.
Yeah, Catherine Wynne is a friend of mine. I've been a journalist here since 2003, right?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
good to know.
I own a newspaper here, the Philippine Courier, for 16 years. And I've heard your name before, but the first time that I'm talking to you right now. All right. There will be people who'll be calling in a while. They will be asking questions on you. But beforehand, could you please update us on what is going on of Mississauga City's fight against COVID-19, please?
Oh, you want to talk about the fight against COVID-19?
Yes, your update.
We are all doing our best. So, as we can see, the numbers are quite scary. And the only way out of this, TOMz, is vaccination. So, we need all levels of government to just focus on that. It's unfortunate that there's a shortage of vaccines, as well as some confusion in the way the provincial government has communicated the vaccination. Opened up and said it's open, but then it wasn't open. So there's a little bit of confusion around that. But the only way out of this is twofold. One is get vaccinated, and the second one is, stay safe and follow the rules until we're out of this.
Confusion?
But it's been frustrating. It has been frustrating.
Confusion, could you elaborate on that? Why is the provincial government confusing you people there in Mississauga, you mean?
Yeah, in the sense that, there's all these announcements that, for example, there was an announcement saying people between the ages of 18 and 50 in hotspot areas can get a vaccine.
Okay.
They made the announcement, but there was no place to book. When you went to book, you couldn't book. So that sort of thing really does create some confusion and false hope and things like that. So
You mean the provincial government, or rather Premier Pod, or the provincial director for health is not talking to you people there out in Mississauga to tell you what you're going to do, how is this, or are they conversing to you on what to do with the vaccination?
No, there are communications. All three levels of government are trying their best. What Peel and what Mississauga really needs now is more vaccine. Just to give you an example, because Peel has had more COVID other than Toronto, Peel has been the hotspot for COVID.
Yes, correct.
So, but the vaccines that we got was proportionate to our population. But really, in fairness, we should have received more than our population share because we have the most COVID, right? So, for example, if there's City A, there's 100 people, City B is 100 people, but City A has 30 COVID and City B has 2 COVID, you can't give City A and City B 10 COVID vaccines as a supply and say both of you are 100, so both of you get 10, because the one that has 30 COVID cases needs more vaccines
Correct.
than the one that has 2. It doesn't matter that you have the same population. You have to look at how much COVID is there.
The
And
number
in
of
that
people
sense, I
infected,
feel,
right?
Yeah, that Peel has been shortchanged, right? We should have definitely gotten more vaccines than we have right now.
But it is depending on the supply and demand. Ontario, of course, Ford is complaining that the supply of vaccine is not enough to cover up all the regions and towns and cities of Ontario. Probably that's the reason why that he is giving more to the some areas that has a lot of COVID infections.
Yeah, there's 2 parts to this, Thomas.
Okay.
There's a vaccine shortage, I agree. But whatever vaccine you have, how do you allocate it? For too long, the provincial government has been allocating it based on population. And what we are saying is, give the areas with the highest COVID infections the maximum.
That should be the case, right?
Yeah, but it's not the case.
It's not the case going on right now.
No,
Does
not
it
right
mean
now.
you mean to say he's biased to some areas, not yet like Mississauga?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's
So we have
that's
more-
political ploy. Probably you're not.
I don't know what it is, but let's just follow the science. Let's just say the areas that are hardest hit by COVID get the most vaccines, and that has not happened so far. So that would be something to work on.
Have you tell the premier about this?
Yes, not me personally, but definitely the mayor of Mississauga has been advocating on behalf of Mississauga and asking for our fair share of vaccines. Absolutely.
How do you see the relationship between Ford and Mayor Brumby?
I think, Mayor Crombie does an excellent job, and I believe they have a good relationship.
If they have good relationship, why the lack of COVID vaccine to Mississauga is what you're trying to imply
That's
now?
a question for the premier. That's a question for the premier.
Yeah, because if Ford and Mayor Crombie is in good terms, probably Mississauga is receiving vaccines depending on the number of infections, right?
Well, I think it's, in fact, I would say that how much vaccine Mississauga gets shouldn't be based on whether the Premier Ford gets on with the mayor or not. I mean, it's good that they get on, but that's not what the decision should be based on. The decision should be based on science. So what the relationship is between the mayor and the premier should not be a factor.
Yes, it is not.
Right? So let's just leave it at that.
If that will be the case, that's politically inclined. That's what we are saying. But of course, this is COVID. And
Yeah.
what kind of vaccine is the province is giving Mississauga people? What
I'm
kind
sorry,
of
what's the
vaccine?
question again?
What kind of vaccine? What type of vaccine is Pfizer,
I think
AstraZeneca, Moderna, or what?
we're getting whatever vaccines we've received, all three, Moderna,
Pfizer.
Pfizer, and AstraZeneca.
Well, of course, we don't have the exact number or figures of infections from Mississauga compared to our region, or rather in our city of Richmond Hill. But I believe Mississauga has a lot more infections than our place, and we don't receive complaints from the people in our place. But I receive a lot of complaints from Mississauga residents.
Yeah. Well, because we've been hard hit. I mean, all of GTA has been hard hit.
Yes, every
But I think
place.
Peel and Toronto have been particularly hard hit. But, Thomas, I do have another interview at 5:30, and I was hoping we could quickly chat about this new project that we're working on,
Okay, please.
15-minute Cooksville.
Okay, please.
So I just want all your listeners to know that if you live in Cooksville or work in Cooksville or study in Cooksville, there's some exciting news. I would like to see Cooksville become a 15-minute neighborhood. And what do I mean by 15-minute neighborhood? I mean that if you live in Cooksville or work in Cooksville or study in Cooksville, I want you to be able to, within a 15-minute walk or wherever you live or work or study, you can find a grocery store, you can find a pharmacy, you can find a library, you can find some green space.
Oh, that's a nice.
Sorry?
That's a nice one. 15-minute walk.
and
You
so
could reach
to-
that.
Yeah, so if you live in Cooksville, I'm asking you to support this initiative. It's very exciting. One way to support it is on April 22nd, which is next Thursday. We're holding an online forum to discuss what's the best way to make Cooksville a 15-minute city. I want to hear from our residents. What are the gaps? What would you like to see? What is your idea of a 15-minute city? I'm asking kids, this is March break. If you're bored, here's what I want the kids in Cooksville to do. If you live there or study there, take a walk over the weekend from your house, walk for 15 minutes, and count for me. What do you see within your 15-minute walk? Are you able to get to your local school? Are you able to get to a grocery store? Are you able to get to a playground? Are you able to get to a library? Are you able to get to a green space? And check it off and say, are you getting 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5? And let me know. You can email me at deepika.damerla@mississauga.ca. Just go to my website. Otherwise, I'm the counselor for Ward 7 in Mississauga. So if you just Google Ward 7 Mississauga counselor, you'll get all of my information and how to contact me. Register for the online forum on April 22nd. You can register by going to my website, deepikadamerla.ca. Just scroll down. You'll see a nice photo of 15-minute Cooksville. Click on that, go into it, and you can register.
Well,
I'm
thank
very
you.
excited, so let's hope
Yeah.
your listeners are as excited as I am.
That's a one-shop stop, your project. And we are thinking that you have talked to us even for a few minutes. And can we invite you again for a longer interview, Miss Deepika?
I would love that. And I'll ask my staff to set it up, Thomas. And this time we'll do it on video.
All right. Okay,
Okay,
your
take care.
parting
Have a
words.
great weekend.
Your parting words, Miss Deepika.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Yes.
you. All right. You've heard Councilor Deepika Damerla of Ward 7, Mississauga, and a very nice project of that Cooksville 15-minute all-stop shop, one-stop shop. And of course, we will be inviting again the lovely councilor from Mississauga some other time to discuss further Mississauga's programs and other events. And precisely, we have to talk on COVID-19 fight. Well, of course, we heard a lot of complaints from people living in Mississauga, not only from Ward 7, complaining she is correct. They don't know where to register, where to have vaccination, and when and how do they go to the vaccination center? Well, we will know more on this when we talk to Mayor Crombie because we are inviting him. Well, again, thank you very much for tuning in us. Ito po ang Balitang Bayan with Ramon Datol. Tomorrow again, we are inviting you. TOMz Radio Toronto presents Saturday program starting at 12. Maraming salamat po. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat.
So why would you want Genesis Immigration to help you in your application? Our company, Genesis Immigration Consulting, is committed to providing truthful, honest, competent, and result-oriented service through advising and representing our client, Canada and overseas in a wide range of immigration matters, which focuses on providing support, building dependable relationships, and promoting success. We are dedicated to understanding what results you want and to helping you understand what actions we can take on your behalf. We will work with you every step of the way to make sure that you understand the choices you are making and feel empowered to make them. But why would you want Genesis Immigration to help you in your application? We work with passion. Highly recommended by clients. Yes. Professional. ICCRC registered. Caring. Knowledgeable. Approachable. High value on integrity. Experienced. Affordable. Reliable. Trustworthy. For more information, please visit us at www.genesisimmigration.consulting.com. Thank you for watching. If you like this video and you want to see more, or have an idea you would like to see on our next video, click like and subscribe, and leave a comment.